What's up everyone? Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a pass-through fidget cone like this on Onshape. Alright guys, so the first thing we want to do is we're going to go ahead and open up a sketch in our top plane, and we're going to add a center point circle from the origin point going out at about 40 millimeters. Once we have this, we're going to exit our sketch and we're going to create an offset plane from our top plane at about 50 millimeters. From here, we can add a sketch to our top plane that we just made, so that offset one. And we're going to navigate to the top plane, so it'll be a little easier for us. And we're just going to add a point directly in the center. Now, once we have that, we're going to use our loft tool to create the space between these two, creating our cone. From here, we can navigate to the bottom of our cone and add a sketch. Here, we're going to go ahead and actually make the guidelines for the spiral we want to make. So go ahead and click a center point circle, and we're going to add 10 millimeters here. Now we can go select our midpoint line by selecting the drop down arrow under our actual line, and we're going to want to create one line going directly straight up, one going right across, and then you're going to want one that goes diagonally to the left here. Now use our dimension tool to angle this at 30 degrees, and we're going to do it once again on the right side. So going out from the center like this, dimension it to 30 degrees. Once we have this, we're going to go back to our actual line, and we're just going to make it so it goes directly up at 12 millimeters. So you should have something like this. Now we can go ahead and click and drag across our entire sketch and select our construction tool. This will allow it so that these are only guidelines and don't affect our actual shape. Now that we have that, we can start to make our actual spiral. So select the spline tool, and you're going to want to click and drag from our top point we added here on the 12 millimeter circle to about here, so a little bit out right and down. And you're going to want to just create this kind of, I like to think it looked kind of like a bowling ball, but feel free to use your imagination. And you want to create a shape that looks something similar to this. Now that we have this, we're going to use our mirror tool, and it's going to ask you to select a mirror line. This is going to be whatever our shape is going to be going over. So the mirror line will be the center one we created here, and we want to mirror this spline we just made. Now, to make sure that there's no pointy ends or anything, we're going to actually use our parallel tool and select these two top lines here, making sure that they're perfectly aligned. Now that we have our first shape, we're going to go ahead and just mirror this all the way across. To do so, click your mirror tool, and when it prompts you to select a mirror line, you just want to select the line wherever our shape ends. So I can see my shape is going to end right here, so I'm going to select this mirror line, and I'm going to mirror these two. And then I'm going to unclick my mirror tool and click it again so it prompts me once more to select a mirror line and repeat the step over and over, all the way until we complete it. So once again, I'm going to select my mirror tool, select where my shape ends, I'm going to select both of our splines, I'm going to unselect my mirror tool and do it again. My shape ends here, so I'll go here, and I'll mirror these two, all the way until we do our last one. Now we have our completed spiral. So once we have our completed spiral, we can go ahead and create a new sketch on our top plane. And we're going to select the center point circle, and we want this to go out the same distance that the bottom of our cone is. So I know my bottom of the cone is 40 millimeters, so I'm going to select 40 millimeters. Here I'm going to click the extrude button in the top left, and I'm going to make it so it's surface only, and I want it to go up to the same distance of where our point is. So I know my height is 50 millimeters, so I'll select 50. Here, I'm going to select the helix tool in the top right, and I'm going to select the cylinder we just made. Now for target revolutions, this will be the spirals. You want to select just one, and this is the path that we're going to sweep our spiral across. To make it easier to see, go ahead and click the eyeball in the bottom left under surfaces, and it'll leave just the helix we added. Now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and click our sweep tool. Once we click our sweep tool, you'll select the spiral we made, and for the sweep path, you'll select the helix. And it'll look a little something like this. Now you want to swap over to remove instead of add, and it's going to create the base of our actual fidget cone. Go ahead and click the check mark. Now we're officially 90% done. To get to the next part, what we want to do is going to click Insert tab in the bottom left, this little plus sign, and we're going to click Create Part Studio. Once we do this, it's going to take us over to a new tab, and if not, you can just navigate here at the bottom. Now we want to do the steps all over again. Now I know that sounds like a lot, but we're going to go ahead and add a shortcut. So on the top, you're going to use your derive tool, and this is going to allow us to select past things from other part studios. So we're going to add our curve, our sketch, our plane, until we get it to look like my screen below. Now that we have this here, we're going to go ahead and use our loft tool, and we're going to select our point and the circle, and click the check mark here. Once we have this selected, navigate to the bottom of your cone, and you're going to create a new sketch from the bottom. Now what you want to do here is select our offset tool and select the right spline here. Now you're going to invert it so that this is facing inward by clicking the arrow. Now where it says 5, you're going to type in 0.45, and you're going to see it creates an offset in the center. Simply select the rest of our splines to get the rest of our shape. Doing it one by one. And then go ahead and click enter and the check mark once you're done. Once we have this, we're going to select our sweep tool, and I like to click my sweep path first, select the helix, and then go back to my facing sketches and select only the inter spiral we made. Here I can click intersect, and it's going to create the top of our cone. Now once I click my check mark, we have it completed. Now you could take both these parts and you can be done here. However, if you notice, the point of our cone is pretty sharp. And as a fidget coin, I know I like to make sure I have it beveled just so I don't hurt myself. So to work with this, we're going to create a sketch on our offset plane. And we're going to create a center point circle from the top here at about 2 millimeters. Now I'm going to click extrude, remove under the sketch, and I'm going to remove it at 2 millimeters, making sure we select merge with all to actually hit it. Then I'll click my check mark. Once we have that, we're simply going to fillet the top of this. If yours doesn't look like mine, you can also just click the arrow and go a little bit down until you have it to your liking. And then you can click the check mark. Now we have that completed. If you want to see what it looks like in 3D, you can click your assembly tab, insert, and simply select both of our part studios. And you can see our completed shape looks like this. So by going through that step-by-step process, we're able to come up with the end product that looks something like this, which I think is pretty neat. It's something cool you can just play with around the office. So if you get a little anxious sometimes, it's nice because it fits right in the palm of your hands as well. On that note, we're going to go ahead and end today's video. If you guys have any recommendations on things you guys want a tutorial on how to make, or just anything in general you guys want to see with 3D design, feel free to leave a comment down below, and also don't forget to like and subscribe.